All right, let's check this one out.
真的是搞笑啊！我刚下班那
Honestly, it's just ridiculous. When I got off work and looked at my phone, I saw a message and I couldn't help but lash out at this guy. Every single day, like some human alarm clock, he messages me in the morning, noon, and evening asking, "Have you eaten? Have you had anything to drink?" Yet he never takes any real action. So fake, it's absolutely disgusting. I've realized there are way too many men like this nowadays. Here's what I said to him. What? Do you think I'm an idiot? In winter, I wear a coat. In summer, I wear short sleeves. When I'm hungry, do you think I just sit here waiting to die? Don't you think I know how to eat? But still, every single day, morning, noon, and night, he asks the same questions. And if I have to reply every time, I get exhausted. If I don't reply, it seems impolite. If I do reply, it's a waste of my time. Because while I'm working, I have to stop, pick up my phone, and type those few words. Even typing "I've eaten" feels like a chore. Seriously. Some time ago, I also met another guy. He had been pursuing me for a while. He told me he really liked me, that from the very first moment he saw me, he wanted to be with me. Every morning he'd text me, "Are you up? Have you eaten?" At noon, he'd ask again, "Did you eat?" And in the afternoon, he'd message once more. At first, I would answer honestly if I had eaten. I said yes. If I hadn't, I said no. But every time I said no, he would have nothing else to say. Do you get it? For about half a month, he did this every day just like a clock, asking me on schedule if I had eaten or drunk anything. One day, I couldn't take it anymore. That morning, he asked me if I had breakfast. I said, "I bought some, I'll eat soon." At noon, I got busy and didn't eat. By 6 in the evening, he messaged again, "Have you eaten?" I told him, "No, I didn't even eat breakfast today. I was busy at noon, so I skipped lunch too. I'm still working now, maybe I'll eat later." Then he said, "Oh no, you must be starving. That breaks my heart." Ugh, the moment I read that, I felt completely disgusted. I said, "If your heart aches so much, why don't you think of a way to get me some food? Feed me, and then you won't have to feel heartbroken anymore." Honestly, through these experiences, both my own and from chatting with clients, I've realized that there are just too many men like this now. It's nauseating. It's disgusting. I was honestly furious. Every day, they waste my time chatting nonsense without taking any real action. And then they claim they like me. Like me? What nonsense? So I sent him a long message. I wrote, "From tomorrow onward, stop asking me if I've eaten or had something to drink. I'm an adult. Whether I eat or drink has nothing to do with you. With or without you, I'll eat when I'm hungry and drink when I'm thirsty. I don't need you to remind me. Your asking doesn't help me eat. It just wastes my time replying to you. If no one asked, I could focus properly on my work. But instead, I'm stuck replying to your pointless messages. If I don't reply, I seem rude."
This is a thing where men need to have a backbone. Men need to have some self-respect. Men need to love themselves. Stop dealing with women who really don't like you. I admit, right? I believe that he doesn't know what to say is because honestly, he knows you don't like him. Because here's the thing where he asked you, "Did you eat?" You said, "Yes." You say what you ate. I mean, you ate this. Oh, did you ask him what did he eat? It's like, this is the point where I get this, it happens a lot with me, particularly with online dating. You ask a question, you give an answer, you do this. She does nothing. She means like, "Yes." Okay. What am I supposed to say that? She's like, "I ate." Okay. I mean, like, you could help, right? This is the problem when she doesn't like you, she won't help you, right? Because here's the thing: if women like you, if women actually want you, they actually want you. They're actually attracted to you. They actually want you to be with them. Women will push the conversation along. I have dated plenty of women that, even if you give simple answers, she will help push the conversation along, which in turn helps me push the conversation along. So I've said this where a lot of the type of women I've dated, they are the type of women who takes me out of my shell because they help me push shit along, right? The women that don't want you, she's not going to give you an inch. She's not going to give you nothing. She will pretty much let you do it your own. You will have to make the immense amount of effort to change your mind because she doesn't like you. The women that actually like you, she will, of course, be interested in you, make it easier for you, give you the chance to talk more, give different push the conversation along. She will give you the chance. She will say, "Oh, I ate already. I ate this. I went to this, that. Did you eat anything? What were you doing?" Then you could say this, that, and then move the conversation along. It's a back and forth. It's not just a one-way talk. It's not like you're talking to the fucking brick wall. That's the thing. Women that aren't interested in you will be like talking to a brick wall. Stop it. Have some self-respect. So many times with like online dating, okay, I message a woman. She gives me one word answers, gives me answers that honestly don't push no conversation along. She doesn't ask me anything. I say, fine, I'm done. I'll give you the same energy. You don't want to talk to me? Fine. We don't have to talk. That's it.
Rude. If I do reply, I waste my time. Why bother? And guess what he actually had the nerve to reply? He said, what you said was really hurtful. I ask because I care about you, but you don't appreciate it. You make me sound like some jerk. And I thought, you're not just a jerk. You're disgusting. You're a fake person. In my life, out of 10 men who pursue me, 9 are like this. Only one might be a bit different because at least he takes some action. And what kind of action? He says, let me come to your place and cook for you. But come on, I'm not stupid. You've only known me for a short while, and now you want to come to my house to cook? Are you really coming to cook, or is there something else you want? We're all adults, no one's that naive. And honestly, cooking costs almost nothing. How much could groceries cost, really? You cook yourself, no labor fee, no cost. The lowest cost way to please your stomach while pretending you're doing something romantic. And some love-struck girls fall for it. They say, he cooked for me, he must really love me. Oh, please, that's just the cheapest effort possible. It means nothing. I've been through it too. If you really go out to eat, you'll know, spend a bit of money, eat a proper meal or two, and see how it feels. So whether a man truly loves you or not, you can tell just from how he handles meals. If it's mealtime and he doesn't even ask, he just directly orders delivery for you. That's real. That's genuine. That's love with action. But if all he ever does is move his lips and say, have you eaten? That's fake. Totally fake. Stay.
As they age, they become bigger red flags. They become bitter, miserable, jaded, higher expectations, lower value. As they age, they become bigger red flags.
Far away from people like that. Don't fool yourself into thinking, oh, he came to my house and cooked for me. He must love me so much. No, that's not love. That's illusion. Thinking like that is just digging your own grave. Girls who still believe.
How is a man taking you on a dinner is love? How is that any effort? Money down. Boom. Done. What effort is that? Like, do you not think he knows how to cook? Here's a man that knows how to cook. Here's a man that wants to cook. Now, I'm not saying, yeah, are there situations where there are men that, you know, are trying to go to do other shit? Yeah, most likely. But again, here's a man that knows how to cook, can cook, and if he cooks well, he cooks well, and he wants to cook. Do women not ask men? It's like, this is the thing. The same men that's like dropping on money for her to, I don't know, a five-star dinner date. Okay. But then she complains that he doesn't help around the house. She complains that she has to cook and clean. Oh, really? Really? You have to cook and clean? You didn't want him to cook for you. You wanted him to drop down money for you. Now he drops down money for you. You complain that he doesn't help cooking and cleaning. Yeah. Insanity there.
Even that kind of romantic love are simply being foolish. Truly foolish.
大不了一辈子不结婚噻，反正我也不可能将就。
At worst, I just won't get married for the rest of my life. So what? I could never settle for someone I don't love. But do you actually know what a lifetime of never getting married looks like? My mom once said, well, you'll just be a little lonely, that's all. What's the big deal? If you can't imagine it, let me share with you a true story, a real case of how a single, middle-aged woman doctor lives her life without marriage. There was a woman who had just graduated from university. Her parents introduced her to a businessman. He owned several houses and even an entire row of shops. But the woman felt he was 8 years older, not very tall, and lacked charm, so she rejected him. She thought, I have a stable job, a respectable income, and a decent life. I should choose carefully. Later on, she did meet many tall and handsome men, but none of them could match the first man's financial stability. Still, she was unwilling to settle and kept picking and choosing until she turned 30. Her parents grew anxious and begged her to lower her standards. As long as he's a decent man, honest, dependable, and hardworking, that's enough. But she replied, what's wrong with me wanting someone a bit taller, with higher emotional intelligence, someone pleasant to look at and financially stable? My conditions aren't bad, so
Perfect.
why should I settle? Her parents were helpless. They told her, you're not young anymore. You don't have as many choices as when you were in your 20s. If you keep being so picky, no one will want to marry you. She said, it's not about age, it's about love. How could I spend my life with someone I don't love? Back then, her thinking was exactly like yours. I'd rather stay single than settle. If I can't find someone I'm satisfied with, then fine. I just won't get married for life. And so she held that belief until she turned 35. A colleague introduced her to a junior from the same company, a man 3 years younger than her. He had a house, a car, and a monthly salary of 20,000 yuan. He worked for a publicly listed company. However, he was from a rural area and his family couldn't provide him any financial support. By the time he had bought his house, he was already getting older. The woman said to him, "Your conditions are barely acceptable. After marriage, I expect you to hand over your salary each month, and I don't want your mother moving in with us." The man's face turned pale. He said, "We just met, and you're already talking about marriage?" The woman replied, "Well, your conditions are just barely acceptable to me. We're not young anymore, so let's just get the process going quickly." The man said coldly, "Just because you can accept me doesn't mean I can accept you." The woman snapped back, "My parents have pensions. I have my own house and car. I grew up in the city, pampered and well cared for. And I'm not even looking down on you for being from a small rural town and you still think you're too good for me?" That remark completely offended him. He said, "Everything you have comes from your parents, but everything I have I earned myself. You're nothing but a spoiled child, a giant baby raised by your parents. What's there to be proud of?" Those words spread among their colleagues, and soon she had offended everyone. No friends or relatives dared introduce her to anyone else. She ended up unable to get married, not because no one wanted her, but because she didn't want to marry anyone. But if she didn't want to marry, why did she still keep going on blind dates? Especially by the time she turned 40 during a university reunion, her classmates all asked her when she planned to get married. "Our kids are already in high school," they said. "You're still single? You can't stay like this forever. If you wait a few more years, you won't even be able to have children." She answered,
I said this before. I'm a big supporter of women staying single. Stay single. Decenter men. Don't date men. Stop it. Don't deal with men. Don't date with men. Don't focus on yourself. Focus on your career. Right? Focus on your hobbies. Focus on whatever you want to make yourself happy. Because a lot of women are incompatible. They're incompatible to be partners. The mindset, whatever, age, lack of whatever. They're just incompatible. So I believe a lot of, particularly modern day feminists, modern day women, they're incompatible to be in a relationship. So they're better suited to just being alone. Just be alone. That's it. And so many women are touting happily single. Great. Stay single. Because honestly, women that, like she's talking about, they're only miserable people. They will be miserable to date. They'll be miserable to marry. So I rather these miserable women not be in the dating pool and make a fool, make a simp suffer. I'd rather that. I'd rather her not be, a miserable woman still being in the dating market, settling for somebody and making that simp suffer. I'd rather she not do it. So I support women just staying single. Just stay single.
"Well, if I can't find the right person, what can I do?" A kind classmate said, "Hey, I have a cousin. He's divorced and has a child, but he's a really good man." When she heard that he wanted her to become a stepmother, she immediately turned sour. "And honestly, I'd be angry too. She's never even been married, and now someone wants her to be a stepmother? But at that age, what kind of man hasn't been married before? Besides a few lifelong bachelors who couldn't afford marriage, every eligible man already had a family or a child." So she said, "Forget it. I'd rather stay single forever than raise someone else's kid." She held on to that belief until after she turned 40 and finally gave up completely. She decided to live alone and enjoy life on her own terms. But just a few years later, when she was 45, she fell ill and was hospitalized. The doctor asked, "Where are your family members?" She said, "My parents are old, their legs aren't good, and I don't want to bother them." The doctor said, "Then call your husband. We need a family member to sign for the surgery." She replied, "I don't have a husband. I don't have any family." The doctor said, "Then call a friend. After surgery, you'll need someone to take care of you." She called around, but not a single friend was willing to come. Everyone was busy. Some had work, others had kids. No one wanted to take care of her. Sure, she could hire a nurse, but a nurse can only help with daily needs. She can't sign legal forms.
This is also I want to talk about, okay? A lot of modern day women, particularly younger women, they will fill the hole that a man is supposed to fill with friends. With friends. Cool. Great. Right? You and your single friends. Cool. But what a lot of these women don't realize, if the chance is given to these single friends, they will leave. They will find their husbands. They will find their partners. They will also be busy with their own shit. So when the time, I'm not saying all the time, but if the time comes, they will pick their life over your life. It is usually, and it should be, it's your partner. You are your life. You are your partner's life. You are the most important thing in your partner's life. Same, vice versa. But a lot of women don't realize this. They think their friend is going to be there all the time. Really? Because at the end of the day, Your friend will have their own life too. I'm not saying that your friends won't be there for you, but if push comes to shove and they have to choose their life or your life, they will most likely choose their life. And that's what a lot of women don't realize, because they're not put in that situation. But when you are put into that situation, it's too late. It is already too late.
Or pay hospital fees for you. Would you dare to transfer your money to a stranger and ask them to pay your bills? She didn't even live long enough to reach old age before realizing what it meant to have no one by her side. You might say, then I'll just have a child. I don't need a husband. But you're afraid to marry a man with a lower income because you think he'll bring down your lifestyle. Do you really think you'd be willing to raise a child alone? A child with no income and constant expenses? Even married couples raising a child together feel overwhelmed by the cost. And you, an ordinary woman earning just a few thousand yuan a month, do you really have the ability to raise a child properly, to give them a good life? Stop being naive, okay? Before we dive into all of this, let us know in the comments where you're watching this video from. I was born in 1991. I'm 34 years old and have a bachelor's degree from university. After graduating, I've been working in a foreign company in Shanghai. When I was younger, I read too much of that so-called toxic chicken soup, those online slogans that tell women not to get married, that men are unreliable, that women should be independent and strong, that we should rely on ourselves to buy a house and a car. So after university, I always put my career first. I never really tried to date or build a relationship. Now it's been 10 years since I started working. I've bought a car, I have some savings, but I haven't bought a house because, honestly, I've never had a true sense of home. I don't even know where I should buy one. Looking back now, I realize how deeply I was misled by that toxic chicken soup. 10 years of hard work at 34, while everyone else my age has a family, children, a house, and a car. I'm still drifting alone in another city. Every day after work, it's just me eating alone, coming home to silence with no one to even talk to. What's the point of earning all that money if I have no one to share it with? So I really want to tell everyone, stop reading those toxic slogans that glorify women staying single. We should live according to the right stages of life, do the right things at the right age. When it's time to get married, get married. Don't blindly chase after so-called independence and end up giving up on marriage entirely.
Hello 朋友们，对于大龄剩女
Hello, friends. When it comes to older single women, those who now regret being misled by toxic chicken soup when they were younger, who refused to settle, who were overly picky and waited forever for the perfect man only to wake up near the age of 40, this social phenomenon is something we need to look at rationally. First, who should take responsibility for this toxic chicken soup? Back then, all those viral articles preaching things like, be an elegant, self-centered woman, or marrying is charity work, only a man who earns 30,000 yu a month deserves your love, indeed misled many young women. But as the guys on online forums fairly pointed out, the reason such toxic chicken soup went viral is that it struck at the core of human weakness. Everyone wants an easy, lie down and win kind of life. It's just like how men are easily brainwashed by fantasy stories of loser-turned-CEO dramas. The real problem is that their judgment never caught up with reality. Second, refusing to settle isn't wrong, but it's easy to twist its meaning. It's fine to look for compatibility and shared values in a partner. But some women interpret not settling as, I must find someone perfect, a domineering CEO, rich, tall, handsome, flawless. That's where it goes off track. It's like playing a game waiting forever to draw the rare SSS tier card, only to realize your draw tickets have already expired. In reality, while you're busy being picky, others are also picking you. That's just how the market works brutally and fairly. Third, riding a donkey while searching for a horse. That's a technical error. In the workplace, it's considered strategic, staying where you are while looking for better opportunities. But in love, this mindset often backfires. I've seen too many women who ride the donkey stay in a relationship just to pass time and gradually get complacent. Then, when they finally want to find a horse, they realize the whole racetrack has changed. The younger generation, those born after 2000, have already entered the dating scene and are competing fiercely. My advice? Learn from the stock market. Stop always trying to buy the dip or time the market. Knowing when to take profits to stop while things are good is real wisdom. Fourth, waking up at 40 is not too late. I've seen women at 45 remarry and find someone far better than their first husband. I've also seen ladies in their 50s start beautiful, late-in-life romances. The key is to stop regretting right now. Regret is like losing a match in League of Legends after 15 minutes. It doesn't mean the game is over. You can still rebuild and make a comeback. So let's summarize
But I will say this, okay? Yes, it's never too late, technically. Particularly to get married or just have a relationship. It's never too late. But I find it that a lot of these women, who get married at 45, 50, they usually are settling anyway. This is the man that they're marrying later on in life would not be the man they would have married, I don't know, 10, 20, 30 years ago. So technically, a lot of these women are just like, okay, fine, fuck it, I'm settling. This man is good enough. And I've said this. I would never. I would try my best within my power to never be settled for. It is absolutely heartbreaking to know that this woman has settled for you. Oh, this is the best she could get, or whatever. Or it's like, oh, she can't get anything. She can't get anything, so she'll just take you. Like you're some just like I don't know, a participating trophy. So this is a thing where I've promoted, for men to be the best version of themselves. Get a passport, not to because you gotta date a foreigner. No, for you to have more options. Period. More options, so you know that so you don't settle. So you don't settle for a woman that doesn't really love you. That's settling for you. For you to not be desperate for anyone. That's my thing. Don't be desperate for anyone, because then you're just getting anyone, right?
Rationally. Admitting your past mistakes is not shameful, stubborn pride is what truly ruins people. Take stock of your strengths. Financial independence, life experience, emotional maturity, these are your real assets. Don't compete with 20-year-old girls on youth. Adjust your dating strategy. Consider divorced but kind, reliable men, or older men with stable finances. Remember this timeless truth. Finding a partner is like buying shoes. Comfort matters more than style. But if you only look at shoe size and ignore your foot shape, that's foolish. Finally, let me say something harsh but true. Those authors who wrote that toxic chicken soup are now buying houses with the money they made from your clicks. They don't care how your life turned out. We, as adults, have to take responsibility for our own choices. Taking action now is far better than slapping your thigh in regret at 50. If you're still watching, comment 1 so I know you're still with me. There's nothing particularly outstanding about older single women. Many of them think that if they lower their standards even a little bit when looking for a man, they'll somehow be at a disadvantage, like they're losing something. But let me tell you the truth, it's us men who lose out when we date an older leftover woman. First of all, even if she has a house and a car, most of those houses and cars are bought on mortgage with the help of her parents, who probably paid the down payment while she's still paying off the loans. And even for the few who truly have money and own property, do you think she'll ever put a man's name on the deed? No, she won't. And even if she has money, she won't spend it on her man. What she does have, though, is age and usually a bad temper. She's neither here nor there, looks down on men who earn less but can't reach those who earn more. She's proud, stubborn, overly confident, and refuses to compromise. She holds her head high, but her fate is as thin as paper, full of arrogance and self-importance, as if the world owes her something. I honestly can't stand that kind of woman, the ones who act like everyone owes them. In a relationship, it's supposed to be mutual. I like you like me, we both give and receive. It's not supposed to be one-sided, where you just sit back, enjoy everything without effort, move into a ready-made life, eat, relax, and reap the benefits without lifting a finger. Do you understand? Building a family is something two people do together. It requires both sides to work hard, to tolerate, to understand each other. It's not about you moving into my house where everything is already prepared, and you just enjoy what's there that's just taking advantage. Now, there are women online saying things like, "We're free maids. We move into a man's house, give birth to his child, and get nothing in return." So I ask them one question: do you actually want to have a child or not? If you don't want to, then don't. It's that simple. Women say, "I don't want kids." Fine, then don't have them. But what's the point of getting pregnant and then yelling about abortion rights? Let's be honest, most of them do want kids. But they also want to use having children as leverage to tie a man down and extract benefits from him, to make him pay money. Isn't that emotional blackmail? Yes, it is. If you say you're having a child for me, then let me make this clear. You don't have to. And another thing, if you say, "This child isn't yours," and you throw them away after birth, then what? You think that child won't come back to you when you're old? You say, "I cut ties with my child, I don't want their money, but when the time comes, you'll still expect that same child to take care of you." Then what's the difference between that and a surrogate mother? Let's be honest, nowadays, many women don't even know how to breastfeed properly. And if a woman claims, "I'm having this baby for the man," then she's basically saying she's carrying a child as a...
And here's also a thing. Okay, you're having a baby for the man. Yet, you don't even allow that man to raise the child how he wants to. So, are you having the child for the man, or are you doing it for yourself? So many women, okay, has this ideology, I'm giving, I'm so amazing. I give birth to this man's child. Okay. So is he the one who's raising the child? Is he the one who dictates how it is to raise that child? No, usually the woman is. So if you are in full control, if you have full authority, you're not giving birth for the child for the man. You're doing it for yourself.
form of service which is no different from surrogacy. If she says, I'm giving birth to this child for him, so I deserve compensation, that's the same as a surrogate contract. But first of all, you are that child's mother. And second, you also want a child of your own who doesn't want to experience the joy of being a mother. Of course, there are some women who truly don't want children, and that's fine. But if you don't want kids, then don't pretend you do. The problem is with those who both want and don't want double standards. You want to have a child, but you also want to use that child to manipulate others. That's hypocrisy. And for those women who scream about being free maids, that idea comes straight from online feminist bloggers. They're the ones spreading this nonsense. They say, when a woman marries into a man's family, she becomes a free servant. But in my eyes, when a woman marries me, she's my equal. She's the lady of the house. Where the hell does maid come into that? A maid doesn't get to take my salary card. A maid doesn't get a share of my property. A maid doesn't get to tell me whether I can go out for a drink or not. A maid doesn't control me or argue with me about my social life.
Oh, if that man is saying that, he's on point. He's on point.
A maid just gets paid and that's it. Tell me honestly, have you ever seen a maid give birth to her employer's child? Rarely, right? And have you ever seen a maid walk away with her boss's house after that? Almost never. So please stop confusing marriage with servitude. In a real relationship, partnership means equality and responsibility, not entitlement and blame. According to recent data from the National Bureau of Statistics, by 2024, China's single population has surpassed 240 million, with women making up a significant and growing proportion. Among them, more than 30% of women aged between 30 and 39 remain unmarried. This trend, highlighted repeatedly in China's social trends, reveals a deep social shift, one driven by economic pressure, rising education levels, and changing values about love, marriage, and independence. At the same time, China's marriage rate has dropped to its lowest level in over 3 decades, only 5.6 marriages per 1,000 people nationwide. Experts warn that if this continues, the nation could face severe consequences: a shrinking workforce, falling birth rates, and a rapidly aging population. These statistics are not just numbers, they reflect the emotional and social struggles of millions of modern women caught between ambition and loneliness, between self-sufficiency and the longing for connection. As China's social trends continues to unfold, the question becomes ever more urgent. Has the idea of independence at all costs truly empowered Chinese women or quietly isolated them? What do you think? Is choosing to stay single an act of strength or a symptom of social pressure?
I think choosing to be single in a lot of cases are just stubbornness. I don't think men need to be single because, in my honest opinion, I get it. I understand the reasonings, your peace and all that stuff, but I think we're human beings. We are meant to socialize. We are meant to pair off and mate. It's within our nature and our genetics. But it's fine if you want to be single. I think it's also fear. Being single is fear. Being single is stubbornness. So, I said this before where, and maybe this is other men too. I'm not choosing to be single, but I'm choosing not to waste my time. I'm choosing not to waste my time. I'm choosing not to waste my effort. I'm choosing not to waste my money. I would love to have a girlfriend. And it's not like I don't, put in the effort. I choose not to waste my effort. I said this already where, I don't let's say online dating. I will message a girl. I would talk to her. But if she's not putting in effort, she's not even trying to talk to me. She's not even trying to get to know me. I'm done. Right? Boom. Effort is done. Right? Or no more effort needed. That's my thing. I'm choosing not to waste my time and effort because so many women honestly do not care. They don't put any effort into it at all. So match women's energy. She didn't put any effort, then you're done. That's it. What do you guys think?